Now I think I'm in the right place. I just learned all this yesterday, so I'm trying to put it uh, in perspective. It says right now I'm number 84 on girls. We got to move that up, ladies. Okay, so we're here to talk about dating and relationships. I am a professional dating coach and relationship advice columnist. I've written several books on dating and relationships, plus, I have several blogs. This was my first book, Sucker Free Love. It's available on Amazon. You can still get it. It's the craziest book you have ever read in your life, so I'm warning you now. The follow up companion to that is the 24 types of suckers to avoid. And what this talks about is it goes over the different types of guys that you likely to run into as a single woman, and the ways you can identify them, and then what you should do to dealing with them, because you can really get messed up by some of these guys. Let me give you some of the names of them. The too nice rattlesnake, the serial monogamist, the broken patient, the mama's boy, the stupid is and stupid does man. And then I go into, the makings of a great husband, how to find Mr. Right, and how to change your selection criteria. It's not a very thick book, but it's packed full of information. I put a lot of work into it. The 24 types of suckers to avoid, and the leader of the pack, Sucker Free Love. These are my two books on dating and relationships that are available online at Amazon.com. So let me talk about I got some dating and relationship advice questions here that I want to go over to see if some of the stuff here is interesting to you, and if it's something of value to you as you go through your romantic life. All right. This letter says, I'm in love with this girl. This is from a young man. He says, I'm in love with this girl, and my mother truly hates her guts. I don't want to leave her, but my mom has threatened to disown me if I don't. I don't know what to do. It's like, I wish he said how old he was. That makes a lot of difference. If you're like you're a young dude, and you're like in high school or something, and you are dependent on your parents to feed and clothe and shelter you, well, you don't have too much say so because you're dependent. You're a kid. Now, if you're a college student and you have a job and you have the ability, or even older, and you have the ability to, move out and live your own life, well, then that's what you get to do. You don't have to really listen to your parents too much. You can go and pay the cost and establish yourself. What's up, folks? How y'all doing? This is only my third broadcast on you now, so I'm glad that you're here. We're talking about dating and relationship advice. I'm going over some dating and relationship advice questions that have been submitted to me for response by some single folks. And this first letter, I have about, I don't know, about seven or so that I'll be going over the next hour. And then, if you have a question too, I'd be happy to answer them. Let me adjust this light a little bit. So this young man, he writes he's in love. His mom hates the girl's guts. He doesn't want to leave the girl, but his mother threatened to disown him. Wow, she is seriously serious about this. I wonder what the deal is. Okay, well, what I would do if I were you is sit down with my mother and say, okay, I'm hearing you. I'm concerned. I don't want to do something that's gonna, get you that upset, but I don't understand where you're coming from. So could you please explain to me what it is that's so bad about this girl? You obviously think you see something that I don't, and I want to know what it is that you see, because your mother's older. Your mother, and I hate to say it, but women know other women. We could read women when guys can't. So there might be something that she sees or something that she knows that she is afraid to tell you, or she doesn't want to break your heart. I mean, could be something really serious behind what she's talking about. But you need to know what's going on. So I would ask my mother, why do you think she's so wrong for me, that you coming so hard on me, that you talking about disowning me if I don't, if I don't leave this girl behind? I think you should listen real carefully to what your mother has to say. Open your mind. Don't be so closed. to have your mind made up. But look at what she's saying. I mean, because she could be right. And like I said, she may have some points that you don't really understand it because you're so young. You don't get it. And, mothers sometimes, just as a woman, she's going to know you better sometimes than you know yourself, my young man. So, but like I said, you have the option, especially if you are, a older guy, you got a job, you finished with college, you're just living at home because it's convenient. Then it might be time for you to move out. In which case, you're gonna have to take them L's if they come because you already got warned. Excuse me. We had all these fires in Northern California. Child, the air has been like thick with smoke. Even though we had rain and most of the fires are out, it's still like smoky in some areas, and I'm still choking. And so, it just excuse my coughing here and there, and strangling because it's just been rough. It's been seriously rough. So, dude, like I said, you're gonna move out. You're gonna handle it on your own. Be prepared to take them L's if they come, and also be prepared to hear her say, "I told you, I tried to warn you," and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you just gonna have to take it because right now you try to act like you know better than your mother, and I don't know either one of you, so I can't say what's up with that. So let me go to another question, and if you guys have a question, feel free to type it in the chat and I'll be happy to try to answer it, right here, right now in real time. Free. So, you get my advice for free, you better jump on it if you have something because normally it costs $25 per question or more if you want a live chat. All right. So this young girl says, I'm 23. I live with my mom and four brothers and sisters. Woo wee. So that's five people plus her. I have a male friend that's 51. Wait, 23 and he's 51. I'm old as dirt and I'm not even trying to date a 51-year-old man. Now get the fuck out of here with that. I pay $800 a month to live at home. I have a 19-month-old baby and I went to college full time before all of this. I have been presented with the chance to live at my man's house, take care of my child and his 12-year-old son while going to school full time at night to finish my degree and transfer to a university. Now I know all that glistens is not gold, but if I don't get a good education, how will I ever enjoy my field, psychology, and educate my daughter for bigger and better things in life than material goods? You know, okay, how do I put this? Why did you not think of all of this before you went up and jumped up and decided to have some fool's baby? What were you thinking? I mean, it's like you was already in school, you were already doing well, and you just like totally messed yourself up by getting pregnant. I mean, you totally could have handled that. You know what I mean? There's like birth control that you could have used, and you could have also availed yourself of abortion. You did not have to go this route and put yourself in all this drama and have this baby that now you don't know what to do with it. You had to drop out of school and you behind the eight ball and you can't, you got to work and you got to pay. I mean, you did all that to yourself by insisting on having a baby at 20. Let's see, the kid is how old? 19 months old. So that's a year and a half old plus the pregnancy of 9 months. So over 2 years ago. So if you're only 23 now, that means you was about 21 when you decided to just screw up your life. What were you thinking? What did you do that for? Don't you have enough examples of women who did that dumb shit and sitting up there looking stupid and now you just gonna go and repeat the stupidity? See, that's the part that drives me crazy. I mean, I could see it if women was having miscellaneous stray babies by miscellaneous stray fools and then they was all like, coming up. But no, nobody's coming up when we're doing this kind of lifestyle. Nobody's coming up. So why would you do that to yourself? Everybody you see doing that is struggling and you just gonna jump in the struggle pile with them? Okay, the other thing that you need to consider is, okay, you're going to be moving your less than 2-year-old daughter into a house with some old man and his adolescent son. Now, this boy is about to hit his teens when his hormones are about to go crazy. What you're doing is putting your baby, because you're going to be at school, right? You're going to be at school, and the baby's going to be at the house by herself with these two males. Please explain to me what sense that makes. In this era of child sexual abuse, you're going to put your daughter in a situation you won't be anywhere around to protect her. She's too little to tell you what's going on. This is the dumbest thing I have ever heard in my life. First, you got a preteen boy. There, you need to keep children away from them at all. I don't even care because a lot of people say, well, that's my son, that's my nephew, that's my cousin, that's my this, that's my that. I don't care. Teenage boys can't hardly control themselves, so you're trying to put them in a situation where you think he's gonna control himself as your daughter gets 3, 4, and 5, and he's 13, 14, and 15. That's a stupid thing to do. I would not recommend that at all. And for any other woman, don't put your daughter in a situation like that. So that's one thing. Not only that, what? How is it supposed to work? I mean, did you iron out all the particulars? Like, if you are you supposed to be paying him the $800, or is this in exchange for watching his son, who's going to be in school all day during the day? Are you driving these kids around back and forth? I mean, what happens if the boy is sick? What happens? Are you still supposed to be working? Are you supposed to play Mabel the maid? I mean, what's the whole parameter, the whole story here? What are you giving up to move out of this place with your family to move over there with him? What are the expectations? You kind of glossed over a lot of stuff, but I'm thinking you better know what you're doing here before you jump from the frying pan into the fire, because you don't seem like you're really thinking too clearly, and when you're going through life here, you're making a lot of mistakes. Oh, what's the topic? The topic is advice letters. Hey, I'm doing some advice letters that I've had sitting in my inbox for well, a couple of weeks, actually. And I wanted to kind of go over them with, on today. And then the newer letters that come in, I want to talk about them on What the Fuck Tuesday. So I'm doing these letters here, and then I'm going to take questions here if they're here. I know I recognize you. Somehow I knew that was you. And take questions and answers if the people here have some. I'm broadcasting off of a new platform for me called You Now, and it streams also to YouTube, and I think I'm putting it somewhere else too. Could have went to Facebook, but I think I decided not to. So this was kind of an experiment. It's only my third time on this channel, platform rather, and we'll see how it goes. But I think, I've been watching some of the shows here, and some of these stuff, people are just like so random. They just sit there and talk about whatever, and 1,000 of people be tuning in to hear them talk about. This dude stood up and farted. I was like, huh? What? What is this? How is this working? But that seems to be what's going on this platform. So I'm like, I think I could do pretty well here because at least I'm talking about something that makes sense. At least it makes sense to me. You a stand? Oh, thank you. So that's what the topic is, and that's what we're doing. And everybody can, you listen for a minute, think about your own situation. If you want to answer to it, just type it in the um, chat room. Because this young lady here, Sock High Grad 2000, Sock High Grad, she is one of my moderators on YouTube. Different name, but same person. But she keeps my chats on YouTube in line because people come from all over bringing their foolishness with them. Mm-mm-mm-mm. So, okay, so let me move on. Let's see what else is going on over here because I got a whole bunch of letters. All right. Um, I'm 20. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm 23 years old. This is another 23-year-old. Dating a man who is 36, divorced, with 4 kids. Wait, she's 23, he's 36, and he has 4 kids. His wife remarried a couple of years after they divorced. We've been dating a little over a month. Oh, so they barely started. We work for the same company in the same city, but hardly ever see one another at work. Oh, because a lot of these companies have these campuses. So it's like 8 buildings or whatever. So you might work at the same company, work in the same location, and you never see those people in the other side of the campus. Everyone at work tells me what a quote nice guy he is and all that. He's worked there 19 years. I'm slowly getting to know him, and he's all that and more. My dilemma is the age gap. Is this a realistic relationship? I don't even know what I'm getting into with an ex wife and kids. He's somebody 15, twins age 12, and a 9-year old. We joke about getting married a month in, and I can tell he likes to, and soon. He asked me to be his girlfriend. He's very romantic and seems genuinely concerned about me and tells me how he's so happy he found me. And I told him I like to take it slow. We kiss and hold hands and stuff, but we haven't had sex, in case you're wondering. Yes, I'm glad you answered that because, yes, I was wondering. I'm starting to feel like I'm falling in love with him. I've been in love before, and I know that in the beginning, all relationships are wonderful. Does this sound like a mess or something worth checking out? She says. Not only is this is a mess, this is a hot mess dripping with frosting. Girlfriend, you are too young for this. Okay, 15. These kids, he's like 8 years younger than you. You got more in the age, you closer to his age than you are to the daddy. Did you think of that? How is you thinking you're going to be in a situation where you playing stepmama at 23, 24, whatever, to a 15 or 16-year-old, some 12-year-old girls who's going to be 13 and 14 and then turn into fools, and then a 9-year-old? Please explain to me how that works. At 23, you the damn near baby yourself. I mean, fresh out of college, which probably was your first job, with some dude who's on the downstroke to 40. I'm trying to see where this makes any sense. Let me walk you through this. Okay. Okay, he got a good job. He's been working there 19 years. He's divorced. When did he get divorced? You didn't say when, how long he'd been divorced. Okay, his wife remarried a couple of years after they were divorced. Okay, whatever. It's what you don't say, so evidently it's been a few years. Do you know how his wallet is being tapped for child support? He got 4 kids. That's 4 minors that he's paying child support for. Okay, that's a big hunk of his money. So if you get married to him and you move in with him and his ends ain't meeting that great, he's gonna be looking at you to meet to cover that gap. Can you handle that? Can you do that? Are you willing to do that? I wouldn't be interested in no drama like that. You all caught up because it's all romantic and stuff. He's like he's an older dude and he's nice and he's romantic and he's dropping them lugs about marriage and you young and you still in that Prince Charming mindset where you think about happily ever after and stuff. Girl, you better slap yourself and wake up. This is a mess for you to even be thinking about dealing with. Yes, honey, fire them exes. I'm telling you, at 23. I could see if she was like 30 and he was 36, it might stand half a chance, you know. But with her only being 23, this is a nightmare. This makes no sense. Okay, and you think about it, by the time she gets in her mid 20s, about 26 or so, he's going to be 40. By the time she hits, mid 30s, he's going to be, damn near retirement age. I mean, I'm trying to see where this makes any sense. And if she wants some kids herself, he already has 4. I mean, it would be her first kid, and then he would be his like 5th or 6th. I mean, what? How's that gonna work for her? How's that gonna make you feel as a woman that you having kids way down the line with this dude that's already worn out from having 4? I don't see this as being anything that makes any sense. But if you I suggest you really think about this. I mean, he's nice. Maybe you guys can be friends, companion, buddies at work or something like that. But I don't think you should get romantically involved with him. And if you doubt it, talk it over with your parents. I'm sure they will tell you the same thing. Anyway, you are watching Deborrah Cooper. I am an advice columnist. I got 2 websites and blogs and a YouTube channel where I talk about dating and relationships. I've been doing this for almost 30 years. So I have a lot of experience to draw on, a lot of training in psychology, and my degrees in mass communications. So I can really, get down to the bottom of the issues here and explain to you very clearly and logically what the pros and cons are of any situation that you find yourself in. I'm pretty confident in my abilities. So feel free to write your question, type your question if you have one in there. If you are too shy and you don't want to do that, at the top of my YouTube channel, there's a button that says Get Advice. You can click that. It will take you to the advice submission form, and you can send in your question that way. It's more anonymous. Everybody won't see your screen name and all that kind of stuff, which I understand some people are shy. Or you can go to the blog, survivingdating.com. Also, at the top in the nav bar, I think it's the second nav bar down, there's a button that says Get Advice. You click that, and that same form will come up, and you can, fill it out and send me your question. You have the option to send your question in by video, so you can record a little video of you asking a question if you want to, or you can just type it and it'll be read, on the air like I'm doing these. So two ways to send in your advice question, and you can get your answer done. I put it in the queue. I mean, don't be thinking it's going to happen overnight. I'll get to it eventually. But the fastest way is to do it if you dare right here on in the chat, and then I can answer right here right now. We're number 48 in girls. I want to be higher. How do I get more people here? I'm too new. I guess I don't know enough people yet on this platform. So I better just take what I can get. If any of you know any singles that you think would like to hear, learn something about relationships, invite them to come. They can come and hear about the mistakes other people made, and at least you can make some mistakes in your dating, but at least you don't have to make these. You can make new ones, different ones. I have on my favorite T-shirt. Who is that? That's Wolverine. I found this at a discount store, and they only had one. I got this shirt. It was like the regular price was 20 something dollars, and they had it at this discount store for $5.99. I couldn't get that thing to the counter fast enough, and they only had one. And I was like, "Ooh wee, I got over." Okay, let's talk about this one now. For those of you who don't know me, I am a big believer in what's called aversion therapy. Because a lot of people write to me and they always complain about what they can't do. I can't do it. I've tried. I tried so hard. I just can't make myself do it. Nothing is happening. I keep going back to him. I keep, whatever it is they're trying to get away from, they keep going back to it and they keep doing the same stupid thing. So here's another example where I can see that this is what's needed here. Dear Deb, I really need to get over an ex. I tried and tried and I cannot move on. What do I need to do? I'm sure she thinks I'm a stalker from calling and texting. I'm sure she does. I am making myself stop that today. Can you please give me some advice? Sure. Every time you think about her, slap the shit out of yourself. Just draw back like your fist is coming from China and pow your face. That will teach you probably within an hour or two, you will stop doing it. If that doesn't work and you need to up the ante, then you take a lighter. And every time you think about calling her, you flick that lighter open and you hold your hand in the flame and burn yourself. You do that a couple of times, and sure enough, whenever that hand gets ready to pick up that phone and start dialing her numbers and you light it up with that lighter, you will soon stop trying to dial that woman's number because your hand will be so bandaged from all the flames, you won't be able to mash the button. You know what I mean? I'm like, come on now, dude, really? You're just gonna turn into a stalker. But that's, I mean, I'm being facetious. But my goal is, you have to do something to yourself that is so shocking and so ridiculously painful that you stop doing this other thing, because this, you want to avoid this pain, and so you would rather do anything than have that pain, and that's the goal. So you figure out what it is. I'm going to give you some crazy examples because I'm crazy. But you know, if you need something that's severe, then feel free to use my ideas. I don't know what else to tell you. But it's that, you got to be careful with this kind of stuff because people will file stalking charges on you, and especially if she's told you numerous times to stop and you're leaving messages and stuff. See, that can be taken to a district attorney, a prosecutor, and used as evidence. In which case, you keep it up, they will pick you up and they will put you behind in jail. So then you're gonna miss work. You're gonna have a record. Some employers have a morals clause. If something you do stuff like that, they have instant grounds to terminate you. I mean, you could be looking at a really big deal that mess yourself up because you want to stay focused on a woman who doesn't want you. And I just don't. I talked about this yesterday. I don't understand why guys have such problems with rejection. Because you can stand rejection when you get fired. You can stand rejection when you don't get a credit card you want. You can stand rejection when your loan for a new car or motorcycle is denied. You can, have to handle all that with no problem. But soon as a woman doesn't want you or tells you no, then you want to flip out and act stupid. I don't understand that kind of mentality. And so I think, there's something else at work here between these men, and where you think, you have you're entitled in some kind of way to women that you want and the time and attention that the women that you perceive that they're going to give you. And so you get all messed up and get an attitude when they deny you. And I think, this is a common problem with young men these days. They're running vans into intersections in Canada, killing 10 or 12 women because they mad that they got rejected. They going into colleges and shooting up places and, just stalking women down and killing them and all that stuff because the woman doesn't want them anymore. So you really need to, examine your mentality because it sounds like that's what's going on with you. And you just can't seem to let go. And you need to do that. And if you can't do it by yourself and you don't want to do the lighter trick and all that stuff, then get yourself into some therapy because there's something you not wrapped too tight. There's something going on with you and you need to figure out what that is. All right. Here's another question, dear Deborah. I live with my boyfriend. Is it possible to get a man to pick up after himself if he has never done it? Why hasn't he ever done it? I'm confused. Are you saying he's lived with his mother? His mother's done it? Has he had maids? He's been wealthy, so he has somebody picking up after him? I don't understand this question. But I'll tell you what I saw my mother do one time with my daddy. Oh, both men and women? Well, it seems, but women do it too. But it seems like when men do it, people die. When women do it, the guy's just, bugged. But the women are murdered. And so it becomes, or there's the murder suicide type of thing. So it becomes very deadly when a guy is fixated on a woman and won't let her go. Whereas when she won't let him go, she's crying and calling and all this stuff. So she's like bothersome, but she's not, like a fatal. She's not fatal unless it's Glenn Close in that movie. The bunny boiling scene kind of messed me up, I have to say. Ugh. All right, so let me see now. She want to know if this dude can pick up after himself if he's never done it. Okay, so you living with your boyfriend, so that's not your husband. That means you ain't tied to dude. That means you can move out at any time unless you guys on a lease, whatever. Okay, but my thing is this. My mother did. My dad, like, he had this bad habit of doing that, right? And she would always pick up his stuff. So at one point, she decided she wasn't going to pick up his stuff anymore. So she just, my dad took his suit off and he threw the jacket over the chair and just took the pants off and they just left him on the floor, right? So my mother looks at him and she just leaves him there. And so, like 3 days later, my father's like, "Why is my stuff still on the floor?" And my mother told her, "That's where you put it. So I thought this where you wanted it." So he was so upset. So he, of course, had to take get it dry cleaned and everything. And then after that, he started picking up his stuff because she wasn't picking his stuff up anymore. And that's what you as a woman have to do. I know it's hard for a lot of women because they're like, "Oh, it's a mess. It looks so awful. I can't stand it. I don't want, his clothes all over the floor." Well, that's why they don't do it, because there's always a woman who will pick up after them and clean up after them if they leave it there long enough. And their tolerance for it is way higher than yours. So it could stay there for months as far as a lot of these dudes are concerned. You just have to outweight him. So if he wants to leave his stuff, his dirty underwear, on the floor, his dirty socks, whatever, just ignore them. Just ignore them. And then when he gets to the point where he don't have no more clean drawers, he don't have no more socks, he don't have, all his clothes are dirty and his shirts and t-shirts, everything is balled up in the corner on the floor, he will either pick them up and wash them, or he will pick them up and throw them away and go buy some new ones. But either way, it won't be your problem. I'm not doing all that. I'm not cleaning up after nobody. It's too much work. So that's what I think. He'll just step over his stuff. He'll be all right. He'll get over it. Nobody's got any question. Everybody's so quiet. Somebody says, "Oh, okay." Somebody became a fan. Yay! I need more fans. You guys feel free to click that fan button. I'm new here. I welcome some fans, and then that way, at least when I go live, somebody will know. You don't always have to come, but at least you'll know. All right. You just came in. You're watching Depsterism, which is a dating and relationship advice channel. That's what I do. I'm reading relationship advice questions that have been submitted to me over some weeks ago. I'm just now getting to them. But, I read the questions and then I give answers right here in real time. I can do the same for you. If you type your question in the box, then I will answer it. So, yeah, try to make it succinct. Don't write like a book because that takes too long. And then I won't have time to answer because you have to be typing. Unless you type really fast, you'll be typing in parts, and it'll take too long. All right, so let's read the next question. Oh, this is about a man and dating. Oh, this might be something interesting for a lot of young people because this comes up a lot. As a matter of fact, yesterday I was on YouTube and I was on Twitch, and I was talking about dating and the money issue and how it's come up a lot in millennials relationships. And according to several studies, women are making more money in the 22 to 33 age group, make more money, 38% or something, make more money than the men. And so it's like, oh, this is kind of interesting. So as these young girls get older, they start looking for a husband. There's a social adjustment that's taking place because most women want their man to be able to hold down the household, right? You want him to be the quote provider. Well, in a situation where more and more women are out earning the men in their same age group, as you young people in this 22, 25, 30-year-old age group start looking for husbands, the reality is that you may very well have to marry a man who does not make as much money as you do. The dynamics of that switch in society is what people are dealing with now because the men feel emasculated and a lot of the women feel confused and resentful and guilty because they're more successful financially earning wise than their men. And then the horrible part is not only do the men the women are making more money, but there's still the expectation there that she's going to go out and make all this money and be all busy at this high pressure job and then still come home and cook and clean and do everything that somebody who, is like a housewife might have to do. It's really interesting. We had a pretty good discussion about it, but it just reminded me as I'm getting ready to read this question about that reality. So let's see what this kid says. When you are dating, where's the line drawn between being wise with your money and being cheap? Hmm. I get that when a person invites someone else out, it's implied that the inviter will pay. On the other hand, if you're a single guy, going out 2 times a week to a bar or club, buying women drinks, and going on 3 dates a month, paying for the movie, dinner, and a club, that could add up to $400 to $500. Well, you have long dates. Why can't you just do a movie or a dinner or a club? Why you got to do all three at the same time? Dude, for real? People have told me that I'm being cheap because I don't buy drinks from women in bars. My reasoning is that I don't want to feel as if I'm paying someone to talk to me or spend time with me. I bet you anything if a woman likes or has a crush or is infatuated or in love with a guy, he doesn't have to buy her time or conversation anyway. Yes, he does. The idea just bothers me. Plus, there are so many women out there just hunting for free drinks from anybody. Okay. You need to stay your little ass out of nightclubs then. You don't want to buy a drink? Then don't go to places where drinks are served. I mean, this is How is this like so hard? I mean, why is this a challenge? Is he crazy? Is it just me? Okay, so he says I don't do the movie dinner club dating either. If I meet someone I like, I meet her for coffee. That way it's not too expensive. There's also no who is picking up the tab misunderstandings, and the day can be short, so no one gets stuck with the other for 5 or 6 hours in case there's no chemistry. True, I like that, but there's a problem there, and I will tell you what that problem may be. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Oh, somebody, Dee Dee say he a sissy. It's so funny. That's a word that's an old word and people don't use that anymore because it's not politically correct. But I'll call somebody a sissy in a minute. That's why I'm laughing so hard. Okay, so then he says, plus in my head, if we are in the same age bracket and she also has a college degree and a job, that means we both graduated about 3 years ago. She probably has similar income as me. So why should I have mine decreased by $400 without her chipping in anything but her presence? Am I paying for her to be present there? If I am there, doesn't she that have value too? No, sir, it does not. Let me explain. Let me make it clear that I would pay stuff for my girlfriend or for a friend, but for a person I don't even know well, I work very hard for my money. I don't have a reason to give it away to random women I might not ever see again. And I believe all men should take this approach or a similar one. Am I being irrational? Hell, the fuck yeah, you are. Let me tell you something, son. You see a woman, okay, you're attracted to her. You want to get to know her. You want her on your team, right? Out of all the things you could have done with your time in that moment, you chose to zero in on that woman's booty and them legs and that smile, and you decided that you wanted to meet her and go out with her, right? Okay, that's going to cost you. Why does it cost you? Because women's time, you're trying to position yourself as being somebody that she should pay more attention to than all the other men that found her attractive, that all the other men who wanted to get with her. And that's going to cost you. It's going to cost you time and it's going to cost you money. That's just the way it is. No woman has any reason to spend time with a cheap, broke man. Okay, it's like she could just go out with her friends then, or she could go out with another guy who understands that she is, that he's trying to position himself to be the one in her life. Okay, if a woman gets with you as her man, then you have a certain obligation to her and any children that the two of you produce. If you come up short, try to talk about, well, why should I, and I don't want to do this and that. Okay, that's the same attitude that you're gonna have going down the road in any kind of relationship. No woman would trust you. Now, I am all for on the first meet, like on an internet date, of you meeting for coffee or ice cream or something simple like that, like $10 you in and out. I'm a big fan of that. I also am in agreement about that not being stuck with somebody for hours and hours that you just met. However, if you're in a situation where you met a woman face to face, you exchanged numbers, you was having a little lightweight conversation with her, you talked to her on the phone before you all met up, see, that's not a stranger anymore. And if you try to take a woman who you had all of that going on with out to coffee, you need your ass kicked. Likewise, if you have a person who was a hookup, somebody introduced you to him. It's a friend of a friend, your mama's best friend's daughter, somebody's, your mother works with, her daughter or son. I mean, whatever. I mean, depending on who the male or female is, that person is being introduced to you and there's like, preliminary information exchange. You have more of a relationship than you would have to a complete stranger. Don't you dare try to get by with a coffee date. You're going to embarrass the people who you set the date up, and you're going to look like an idiot. Oh my God. And this whole thing, it's just like this dude is like, yeah, it's like if he can't afford to date, then he really shouldn't. And he's just bitching about, spending all this money. It's like, dude, I mean, if you trying to meet a woman, if you meet a woman and you like the woman, why you going to keep taking everybody else out? What's the point of that? I mean, I know you're young and everything, but I mean, you got to look at something sensible and do something sensible with your life. You're in the building phase at your age. You're supposed to be building your career, building your stability, and part of building your stability as a man means building a relationship with a woman so that you guys have can leave a legacy and a family and all of that stuff. So you start establishing the groundwork for that in your early to mid 20s. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You don't have to get married that soon, but you should be like, that's your goal, is to find someone that you can be with. And a lot of that weeding out you can do over the phone. So that by the time you take a woman out your behind, should not be trying to get by with no $10, $8 coffee date. If you can't afford to take the woman to at least to lunch, then you like, they have them dinner things where you can go eat at happy hour and stuff. They have the little bar food and whatnot. I mean, you can do it in a way that you don't have to spend no $400 or $500 a month, and you can have more dates. But you just have to use your thinking cap and stop trying to be cheap. This is just disgusting. You claim you're interested in a woman. You could even do breakfast. You know what I mean? Just you go to the gym and say, "Oh, I'm about to go. I went to the gym and worked out and stuff. I'm about to hit up, so and so for some breakfast. IHOP. Let's just use IHOP for example. Okay, so you can get a nice meal there for two people for $20. So get the girl. You all go casual over to IHOP and have breakfast together. Just be creative. It don't always have to be dinner and a movie and a club. I mean, that's too long anyway. Don't nobody want to look at you that long. Yeah, they got them 2 for 20. I mean, it's all kind of stuff. They're young, so they probably don't mind. Some dude try to take me on a 2 for 20 date. I'm old, so you don't treat mature women like that. But y'all in you 22, 23 years old. Y'all still use coupons, and your idea of a meal is a burger at a stand or something. So it's a little bit different. But you better think about this very carefully. Okay, you got to think about this because, like I said, you're in the building phase of your life right now. And if you don't handle this right, you're going to be one of them 45, 50, 60-year-old men still unmarried with a string of girlfriends to his past, nothing established, a bunch of money and time wasted, and you're going to be in the old folks' home by yourself with no family to love you, nobody around you, just you by yourself. And then you're going to be thinking about that 50 or $60 that you could have spent to have somebody in your life, and you're going to be sitting there crying about why you were so cheap in your youth. So you better, put this in perspective. Okay, it costs money to be a man, and you want to get a woman of quality. It's gonna cost you some money, and that's something you either you gotta accept or just be by yourself and be single. I don't know what to tell you. It's one of them two. All right. Okay, this woman writes, my husband is a complete asshole, and I'm about to go crazy and whoop his ass. What? Why did she write this to me? Uh, and she says, can you say something to stop me? Nope, because you know why? I figure if he pushed you to that point, he obviously deserves it. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I don't know any woman who loves a man who just wants to arbitrarily out the blue sky whoop his ass. So obviously he did something to deserve it having his ass whooped. So I say, let me have a seat, let me grab me some popcorn and cross my legs and get my drink on and watch the show. That's what I want to do. Because I know he must have done something to really mash your buttons. I think, poor thing. Oh, this is just too funny. That is just too funny. All right, that's that's enough of that. Let's see. I think I got a couple of more. Oh, that's the one I already read. Okay, here we go. Let's see what's this one. Hmm. I'm 18 years old and I really like this guy, but I'm white and he's half black. I'm wondering what difference that makes. I guess we're about to hear. My parents are divorced, and my dad has no problem with me seeing him, but my mom's new husband is a racist. He forbid his daughter, my stepsister, from dating an African American guy recently. I know my mom doesn't agree with him, but she wouldn't say anything because her new husband is really hard to talk to and is prone to just exploding. Oh, no, 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 no. What'd she marry him for? Thank you. It's nice to have love. I know my mom. Oh, wait. I try to always quote honor my mother and father, end quote, but I don't know what to do when they are so obviously wrong. I really like this guy and he likes me. Hmm, this is interesting. Well, I'm going to say this. This is a sticky situation. I wonder, what was your mother thinking to marry, knowing that you, um, I mean, it's most parents, they teach their kids acceptance. A lot of times they teach it, but then when it comes up against reality, they start backpedaling. But obviously, your mother taught you not to be racist and to be accepting of other people, and that's why you're open to love with a man of another, ethnicity. So she did a good job there. She taught her daughter to love people for who they are, not for the color of their skin. Exactly. That's what I'm getting to. Unfortunately for you, since you are 18, you're 18 and probably, I mean, some 18-year-olds are haven't even graduated from high school yet, depending on when their birthday is. But just say you're out of high school, but you're 18 is not like it used to be. Most 18-year-olds are still living at home, still dependent on their parents, and the parents are the main ones providing for them. You're still on your parents' health insurance. This whole thing. You're still a dependent. Unfortunately, when you're still a dependent, you got to pay the cost of that, which is obedience and doing what it is that your parents want you to do as long as you live under their roof. That's where you are right now, young lady. So you're going to have to sit down with your mother and have a talk with her about the whole situation, get her take on it. But I'm thinking she's gonna say, just don't see him because it's just gonna cause too much drama at the house. And I really wish, since she's raised you in one way, that she had picked a partner who had a similar outlook instead of one who was so blatantly racist. That's very interesting that that happened. I'm trying to figure out what kind of vetting she did to pick somebody whose value set stance is so different from hers. That's not really that's not good vetting, as we say. Um, just too different. Especially, like, what if she has like black female friends and stuff? Then what's he gonna do? I mean, this could just be a really a messy situation. Um, I have a boyfriend who I really love. I'm 17. He's 24. What is it with these young girls messing with all these old dudes? I'm just not a fan of this at all. Yeah, the racism thing is a touchy one. That happens a lot. Um, and it's very unfortunate because it confuses the kids. Looking at their parents and they're like, "Wow, what a hypocrite! You taught me to love everybody and treat everyone the same. Practice, you want to flip the switch, and suddenly you become, a segregationist." And so people need to think about that. You confuse your children when you do things like that, and then they feel like you've been lying to them their whole lives, and then they're like, "Well, who are you?" They don't really know who you are because you give them two completely different messages. That causes a lot of problems. I think parents don't really think about it, but you have to present consistency to your child so that they know that you mean what you say, and that you are the person, truly the person that you present yourself to be. And you flip flopping all over the place like this is that's not gonna work. That doesn't work. Nobody got any questions? Everybody just watching intently and just listening to these crazy questions? That's okay. Um, it says 100 people are watching me on YouTube. Wow, that's a lot. Well, I'm sitting over here broadcasting onto YouTube from, where am I? You now. Me and YouTube are not friends. I'm kind of I'm on a pout session because YouTube all last week was screwing me over on my live streams, just cutting off whenever they wanted to, just ending my stream after 9 minutes or 30 seconds, and just totally screwing me over. So I'm not happy. So I'm trying something new. So there. Last night I was on Twitch, and now today I'm on something else. I don't know. We'll see what if I get back to YouTube or not. Because, I mean, I suppose I will, but they need to fix whatever's wrong with my channel. Okay, yeah, 17 and 24. 17, at least in this state, is a minor child. 24 years old is an adult male. If my daughter was 17, mess with some 24, my foot would be so deep up his ass, it would not be funny. It's like you get away from my child, you can keep messing around with her, we're going to have a problem, and it might end up with you being behind bars. So I want you to step away from my daughter. I don't want to see your face. I don't want to hear your name. I don't want you calling on her phone that I pay for and all this kind of stuff. You better respect the boundaries that I put in place. So she says, I know he loves me, and I could never imagine life without him. See, no, this is silly 17-year-old. The problem is that we argue a lot about me doing everything for him, and he hardly does anything for me. See, I go to his place whenever he wants me to. I do this and that, and if he wants something, he wants me to do something, and I do it anyway, just because he wants me to. But he never does that for me. He started to change that, though. We argue a lot about drinking as well. I live with an alcoholic, my mom's boyfriend, so I don't always find it fun to drink, but he does. Before we went out to drink, he drank almost every weekend. Never if he was alone, though, and it's pretty hard for him to change that, even though he tries pretty hard. I want to be able to party and drink with him too sometimes, but I always end up pissed about nothing, and that ruins the whole night. What do I do? Oh, she's from Sweden. Oh my God. Oh, I don't know. I don't know the laws in Sweden. Is 17 considered an adult there? I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat might know. You on both pages? Oh, and it's a minute ahead of YouTube. Okay. I guess because this is the platform I'm streaming and it's going there and it takes it that long to get there. This is interesting. Thank you for telling me that. That's very interesting. I would never have known that. Um, okay, what do I say to this? Okay, this is a 17-year-old girl messing with a 24-year-old dude who is a drunk. She does things for him. He doesn't do anything for her. Um, if he wants to do something and she does it anyway. So notice where are my fingers. Okay, we're on finger 1, 2, 3, 4 things wrong now. 4 red flags. We're up to 4. She lives with an alcoholic, her mom, so she doesn't always find it fun to drink. Now we're at 5. Um, it's hard for him to change, even though he tries pretty hard, but he's an alcoholic, so that's not okay. We had number 6. You want to be able to party and drink with him too, but you also end up pissed about nothing. That's number 7. And then you argue a lot. That's number 8. Okay, so you got 8 red flags in a relationship that's only 7 months old. And what can I say? You got more red flags you got one a month, so you on one in advance of the length of time of your relationship. I'm going to say this, young lady. Somewhere in there, you have to have some standards for the man that you're with. I'm not hearing where you have any. This is often a problem when people have an alcoholic parent or step parent because they slide very easily into codependency, and that's where you are. You're trying to get him to change. You're trying to support him in his and be, an enabler. You're drinking with him. You're doing what he wants you to do. You're an enabler. So, I don't know if they have Al-Anon in Sweden, but that would be where you need to go because you're in a situation you with 2 drunks in your life, 2, and you're just a kid. You're only 17. This is way beyond the scope of you being able to handle on your own. You need some help. But I don't want you to continue down this path because this guy is no good. He's not good for you. There's nothing about this that's going to help advance you into womanhood, that's making your life better, that's bringing you anything beneficial to your life. He's a drunk. I mean, all you doing is sitting around drinking with him and arguing. I mean, how is that a relationship? I don't get it. I'm just really not understanding these young girls. Oh, look, somebody's got a question. Hi, Ashley. Should a man confirm a date the day of a date? That's a good question. I'm going to say this. It's going to depend. Now, say you guys made a date a week. Oh, you came over from YouTube. Good job. Um, Say that you made a date with the guy like a week ago and you or he had to go out of town or something. I mean, there was some interference that you where you couldn't really, be in touch with each other and chit chat, in between the time that you made the date to when he's back in town or you're back in town to call and say, yeah, I'm back. I'm looking forward to seeing you on blah, blah, blah day at time. We still on, right? Nothing changed, right? I'm going to make reservations, now that I'm back. Um, do you want to meet me there? Some kind of like tidying up the loose ends kind of conversation would be appropriate, I would think. Now, if you just made the date a day or two ago, then no. He don't need to. I mean, we're adults here. You put it in your, well, we used to use Palm Pilots, but now, you got the calendar thing on your phone. It pops up with the reminder, a day ahead or 2 hours ahead, whatever way you want to set it to remind you where to go and what time to be there. So, he shouldn't have to, keep reminding you like a baby. We're adults here. So I think, like I said, it's gonna depend. So you got to kind of weigh the situation there. But I don't think, constant reconfirming of things that's kind of like nagging, like mothering somebody. It's like, we made a date, we made a time. Unless something changes, you don't need to call me. I'll see you there. So if somebody calling me to, remind me or something or reconfirm it, see, that would get on my nerves. I would be like, look, yeah, they shit changed. Why are you calling me? I'll be there. That would irritate me. But I admit I'm not, like everybody else. And I'm a person who makes commitments and I stick to them. I can make a date a month in advance, and a day and time that we agreed upon, I will be at the designated location without any more conversation about it. It's like I make a doctor appointment, right? They call and remind people, but they always call. They leave like the automated voice mess. The thing, the little computer voice will call your phone and leave a message, and the Kaiser sends you a text to remind you. But I never need those. I mean, I already have it, but I can see where some people might, and so whatever. So how hopefully that answers your question. You said that. I'm your fairy godmother. Aw, I wish I did have fairy wings. That would be great. He set up the date last week for today, but no location yet. So I was thinking he should confirm. Oh, okay. Yes, because notice when I was saying how you tie up the loose ends in the conversation, that's what's missing then. You guys set up the date. Yes, we're going to get together on Saturday, but, maybe did he say but no location. Okay. Did he say a time? But no location. Is he gonna pick you up? Are you gonna meet him there? Where you meet him at? There's details there that I agree that need to be, um, the loose ends to the date got to be tied up, which I did say. But if he hasn't done that yet, then hmm, I might look into a plan B if I were you. Because, like he did it last week, he should have called you yesterday to tie up all the loose ends. He shouldn't have waited till today, yesterday. Thank you, Deb. You're the best. Ah, thank you. Let me take my bow. Yeah, he should have done that yesterday. No need to wait till the last minute. If you guys hadn't made up all the times and stuff. You set aside the day, but, he need to do more. All right. Anybody else got a question? Anybody got a question? Mm, 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 mm. Oh, I'm not reading this. This question is X-rated. We're going to pass on this one. Okay. Let's move on to another that's more PG. I'm not going to touch that. Uh, all right. Here's a question that's kind of interesting. Hmm. I'm a single, never been married mother of a 9-year-old daughter. My boyfriend has a 6-year-old daughter, and we're expecting a baby in 6 months. Okay, she already a baby mama. Why are you doing that 2 times? See, I don't get this. I don't understand. Oh, we're both excited, and I think some days he's more excited than I am. I have known my boyfriend for 2 years, but we have only been dating seriously for the last 7 months. I live on my own with my daughter, but he lives with his parents. As our relationship became serious, he confessed to me that he was married to another woman, not the baby mama, and in the process of getting a divorce. He said he didn't expect our relationship to grow so close. Needless to say, I was shocked and hurt, but decided to stay and work things out. A month after his divorce, I became pregnant. Even though he wasn't completely honest with me in the beginning, he has proven to me that I can trust him. He is very reliable, loving, giving, and honest. He makes me very happy. However, older friends and family members are putting pressure on me about getting married. I feel that pressure is changing my views about having another baby without being married. I do want to be married before the baby is born. I know he loves me and shows it in every way. We have discussed how I'm feeling, and he's expressed he's just gotten out of his divorce and doesn't want to rush into another marriage. He understands how I'm feeling. He wants to please me in every way, but marriage doesn't seem to be on his agenda right now. He thinks we should take our time and not rush. I want more than just a baby daddy. I realized I should have thought of that before I became pregnant. Oh, you must be psychic because you know that's what I was about to say. Do you think I should back off for a while about marriage? How much time should I give him before I bring up the topic again? Should I just enjoy what we have and not be concerned about what other people think? I am very bitchy and emotional, but I need some advice. Girlfriend, help a sister out and help me sort out what should be important in my life. Signed, another baby daddy. Oh, thank you guys. Those of you who are signing up to be fans, I appreciate it because I'm new on this platform. And so the more fans that I get, you people that's over on YouTube, you feel free to come over here and become a fan too. This is you now. And the same, everywhere I go, I got the same channel name, Debsterism. I am not that creative. I need to remember what my stuff is called. So on Twitch, I'm Debsterism. On YouTube, I'm Debsterism. On You Now, I'm Debsterism. And on any other place I'm going to be, it's going to be the same, Debsterism. So you can just look for me, and that's where you can find me. Here I'm in the section tagged girls. Yesterday I did ask questions, so we'll see which one works out the best. I think this one gets more traffic. Um, okay, so she's got a 9-year-old. He's got a 6-year-old. He just divorced. A month after he got divorced, she got pregnant. She decided then she want to be married. She don't want a baby daddy, but she was happy to have a baby daddy until these people got in your ear, and you didn't seem to be too concerned about it. Otherwise, you would have been using birth control, so you didn't be a baby mama. So I'm confused about what it is you want because you all over the damn place. You don't know what you talking about. You say you don't want a baby daddy, but then why are you messing with a man and getting yourself pregnant by a man you're not married to? Please explain to me how both of those things are supposed to happen at the same time. You know what I mean? I don't get it. What'd she say? Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't understand what she's thinking. Um, okay, so right now you're gonna be a single, but you looking at this is what you're looking at. You looking at being a single parent to two children with two different fathers. You're also saying that you wanted to be a married woman before the baby came. You know the man just got divorced. He's not interested in getting remarried again. Should you not have thought about and talked about all of these things before you commence to getting pregnant? This is putting the cart before the horse. You don't get pregnant and then you decide you want all these things that have to do with a pregnancy. You don't do that. You're right. You balling backwards here. Um, the bottom line is, I'm looking at this. It's like you basically made a choice to be a single parent a second time. Are you really understanding what you're doing here? It's like you trying to play it off like, I don't want to be a single, I don't want to be a baby daddy, but everything that you did, you decided, you put things in place to make this a reality. You did not put up barriers. You did not use birth control. You did not wait to get, to look for a husband before you allowed yourself to get pregnant again. You made decisions that put you in a situation that you're in now, and now you're writing to me thinking that I'm going to tell you, what should be important to you. It's too late. The only thing that you can do now is be the thing that's be important to you now is figuring out how you're going to get through a maternity leave, because after you had a baby, you need, you're going to have to some time off, you can't work. What's going to be your source of income? How you going to pay your bills? What you going to do about daycare when you have an infant? Because you're going to have to go back to work. Infant daycare is very expensive. You're going to need diapers. You're going to need all this stuff for an infant. I don't know if you guys have the money, but that's what you're looking at. The crib and the car seat, all that stuff that babies need, diaper bag, all the stuff. They grow like crazy people. So you need, they got to get a bunch of baby clothes. You're going to have formula unless you're nursing. There's going to be a lot going on. You need to, it sounds like he's interested in helping to father the child, but he's letting you know right now we ain't gonna be married when this happens. So you need to accept that. That's where you are. You're gonna be a single parent with two babies. Um, I wish you had thought of all of this beforehand. I hope you have enough money to do what you're doing. And if you determine that this isn't the path and your pregnancy is early enough, you always will have the option of termination. You do not have to go through with this unless it's too far advanced. You don't say how far along you are. But other than that, you just stuck. You just stuck being a baby mama two times with two different baby daddies, and I don't know what you're gonna do. That sounds like a hot mess I wouldn't want to be in. All right, I got one more question that I'm gonna do. One more question for today, unless somebody in the audience has one. Oh, look, I'm getting love. Thank you, and I thank everybody who's became a fan. I'm seeing the little things here saying so and so became a fan. I appreciate that. Everybody, you can click that become a fan button, and to just help build up the platform here. I kind of like this. I like the interface. It's very clean. It's not a lot going on, and it makes it easy to see everything, and easy for people to see me. I don't know what this thing is here about a guest. I guess it's somebody you can invite on with you or something. I'm not real sure how that works. I'll have to investigate that and see. But you know, this sounds good. I really like this. All right, so let's see. Let's do one more question. I am an 18-year-old black female. I have had a steady love relationship with a guy for 3 years now. For the past few months, we've been having some real immature confrontations. He questions my faithfulness constantly and was very insecure about my at work relationships with some of my coworkers who were attracted to me, not vice versa. That really frustrated me because he's all that I've ever wanted. Oh my God, I want some like violins playing and stuff. This is Then I laid eyes on this guy at work, and I knew it was trouble. I promised myself to so much as not communicate with this guy because he was so fine. But he talked to me first. I have been on a friendly basis with this guy for about a month now, and I'm attracted to him in all ways. He's expressed how much he likes and lusts for me. How old is this chick? 18. Oh, no wonder. She's goofy. Okay. Yet he has a steady girlfriend on top of all this. He is very sweet to me. I've gone off to college, but he calls long distance every day to talk to me. I do really love my boyfriend, but I equally like this guy. See, that's how you know this letter been sitting in my inbox for months. The girl done already, left for college and everything else. But he calls long distance every day to talk to me. I do really love my boyfriend, but I equally like this guy. I don't want to be a home wrecker. I don't want to be lonely or used. Could you help me figure out what's going on with my boyfriend, this new guy? and me. Okay, so you've been dating somebody for 3 years. So you only 18 now, so that means you was 15 when you started dating this clown. Too young. All right. Then you've been having some real immature confrontations. Of course you have, because you're still immature. You're only 18. He questions your faithfulness, blah, blah, blah. Um, He's all that you've ever wanted. Well, I mean, at 15, how much options could you be really aware of? I mean, it's not like you had that much choice and experience, life experience to know any different. So you accepted him because that's all you had going. Okay, so this, you doing too much. Okay, so then you met this guy at work and you knew he was trouble, and blah blah blah. You're friendly, and then you went off to college, and he calls every day. You like this guy as much as you like your boyfriend. You don't want to be a homewrecker. Okay, this is the thing about it though. It's long distance. What do you think that you're gonna do long distance? You're at school. I mean, I know you'll be coming home. She's probably home now. For the Thanksgiving or whatever. She will be home soon for the Christmas, winter break and stuff. But that's why I'm lagging. This letter is months old. But you don't want to be lonely or used. Let me explain to you this lonely thing. You're away at school, so you're not really with either one of these dudes. Okay, you just have like a phone relationship, maybe Skype or text or whatever. You're already alone. Okay, you're away at school. You're supposed to be worrying about some schoolwork and doing that instead of worrying about some knuckleheaded dudes, especially a dude that's already got a girlfriend and talk about he's lusting you and calling you every day. What he's doing is what I call the hoe test. I have a whole article called the hoe test. It's like one of my most popular articles on my blog on survivingdating.com. Please read it if you get a chance. I don't have the URL, but let me put the title in here. The hoe test. And it's how and why men test women's values and morals. That's the title of the article. So if you go in Google and type that in, it'll pop up. It's in two parts. Now, what this article details is some of the just some real common, goofy ways that men will test you. And one of the tests that men run is this. Well, they try to play you to see they know you got a man, and they look for you to establish boundaries and, make some definitive statements to back him off. He knows if you don't do that, you go into the whole category, because and then please don't think he's going to put any emotional investments in you, because he's going to say, well, shoot, if you would play dude like that you claim to love him, you would do the same shit to me. So I'll just take what I can get from her, and then I'm going to bounce. And that's how dudes measure what kind of woman you are. So she's making like fatal mistake after fatal mistake with this situation. The boyfriend that you're arguing with and stuff that you've been dating since you were 15, I think personally, as when you go off to college, you need to end all of those kinds of relationships. You started that number when you were too young, and it's those kind of relationships stifle your emotional, mental, and psychological development, because you're too afraid to do things and spread your wings and go places and be the person that you want to be, because you're too worried about if this person approves and what they're going to think and what they're going to feel about it. I never think it's a good idea for girls 15 and 16-year-olds to be having boyfriends. You might date around, go to the prom with somebody, something like that, but to have like a committed relationship where that's the only dude that you deal with, I am a firm disagreement with that policy. I don't think girls should really have that kind of situation until they go off to college, because there's too much for you to do and learn and experience and be at that age before you really even know who you are as a young woman. You done already saddled yourself down and put yourself in a box dealing with this dude and worrying about what he wants. So that's what you're running into. You're ready to move on emotionally and stuff. You don't really recognize it. That's what it is yet. But your boyfriend feels it, and that's why you guys are arguing so much. He can feel the space that you're trying to establish for yourself. My thing would be to advise you to break up with him while you're away at college, so he won't be able to come and see you, and he'll just have to get over it. But change your phone number or block him on all social media, all ways of calling you, email, everything, so that he can't call you. No contact. That's going to be the best way for him to get over you and move on. And for this other dude, the one who's got the boyfriend who's calling, you need to sit on the one next time he calls you, tell him, please stop calling me, because you have a girlfriend. And it's really, I've been thinking about how to tell you this all this time. I mean, I enjoy talking to you and stuff like that, but you trying to take this in a direction that I don't want to go. I'm not trying to be involved in a situation in a triangle with a man who, and another woman. I don't want to mistreat a sister like that, nor do I want to disrespect myself like that. So I want you to stop calling me and go over there and deal with your woman. And then while you're at college, have fun, date around, go places, go on trips, go on spring break with the girls, dance on the beach, party, have fun. This is your time to do all of that while you're at college. And then when you get about 20, 21 years old, then you can worry about having a boyfriend. Right now, you're supposed to be focusing A, on your books, and B, on finding out who and what you're going to be as an adult. And that means, kind of investigating a lot of different things, opportunities, different jobs, different internships, travel, meeting different people, going to different places, trying to expose yourself to the different events that they have at college that are cultural, educational, business oriented, artistic, whatever's coming, to the campus, participate in it so that you learn more about not only about yourself, but life too. Okay? So that's what I have to say today during my adventures on You Now, my third show here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to become a fan here. Travel on over to YouTube or to Twitch, and you can become a fan over there as well. Wait, no, they don't call it fan. What do they call it? Followers. They call it something else on Twitch. And a subscriber on YouTube, a follower on Twitch, and a fan on You Now, but it's the same thing. You get a notification when this person goes live. But I appreciate everybody coming and visiting with me. Feel free to come. I'm gonna try to be here next weekend as well. And you guys, come next time with some questions. Thanks, Angel. Ashley, I'm sorry for your question. That was very exciting. You're the first one to ask me a question on You Now, so you get, you know, I don't know, you don't get a prize or anything, but you get my special recognition for what it's worth. But you guys, thank you, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.